standards we think best. In his choice of friends and family, let's forgotten folk be blessed.
Not obsessed by our achievements, worldly wealth or family tree, may we in and with God's chosen find our fondest pedigree.
With Advent preparations beginning in just over a week's time, we have the opportunity to think about the real meaning of Christmas. Will my preparations encourage me to take time rather than add to any frantic busyness? Will they challenge the excessive commercial norms? Question any excess in a world where the gap between the rich and poor is widening? Or urge me to reflect on how my lifestyle affects the poorest? This year, will I continue to run myself into the ground to make the celebrations perfect? With the levels of energy waste increasing tenfold in the West over the month of December, do my celebrations challenge the unsustainability of Christmas? And in a time of climate change, do I need to reinvent my traditions? Just to remind ourselves of the real Santa, on December the 6th, many Christians commemorate St. Nicholas, the kindly Bishop of Myra in Lycia, now part of Turkey, who died in the 4th century. Although little is known of his life, there are many legends. One of the legends tells of how Nicholas responded to the gospel story of Jesus, who became poor and taught his followers that it was more blessed to give than to receive. Nicholas gave surprise gifts to those who were very poor from the donations he received from wealthy friends. Santa Claus is a shortened version of Saint Nicholas, and the tradition of gift giving have their basis in him. There are 5 gifts that don't cost a penny. The gift of listening to those who live alone, or those who have been hurt. The gift of signs of affection, a hug or a word of encouragement. The gift of a thought or prayer, or a written message of encouragement. The gift of seeing and being cheerful instead of complaining or feeling sorry for yourself. The gift of time to be with someone who needs you. The Christingle service is very old. It means Christ light and is a celebration of the coming of Christ, the light, into the world. In the service, gifts of money are presented for charity and Christingles are received. The orange standing for the world, the candle for Jesus, the light of the world, red for the blood of Christ shed on the cross, 4 cocktail sticks for the 4 seasons, and fruits for the fruits of the earth. Holly is another symbolic decoration that doesn't cost the earth. We could also consider growing a Christmas tree outside or decorating an existing tree or shrub with natural decorations. Giving a Christmas tree as a gift planted in a pot and making Christmas decorations from natural materials by weaving grass and twigs. For example, this angel can be made by stringing together a cone, berries, nutshells, a seed and a leaf. Decorations can also double up as food for the birds. Use half a coconut or orange shell, make a hole at the top for the string, tying a knot on the inside and filling it with bird cake. Or try stringing nuts and cheese. Find a log in the woods for your Advent log. Saw off each end so the log is about 1 foot long. Saw a piece off the bottom of the log so it doesn't roll about. Drill 4 holes for the Advent candles and, if you wish, a 5th hole in the middle for the Christ candle. Light 1 candle on the first Sunday in Advent, 2 on the second, 3 on the third, and all 4 on the fourth. Light the 4 Advent candles and the Christ candle on Christmas Day. We can also perhaps think differently this Advent. This Christmas card and the ones that follow were designed and printed in countries throughout our world where Christmas is celebrated more simply. So we remember people in Asia, Africa, and in other countries throughout our world. Hard-working folk who, because of climate change affecting their harvests and conflict over their land, are homeless, displaced, or hungry. We give thanks for generous folk and communities who share what they have with those who reach their shores and lands. We remember that Jesus and his family were refugees. They fled with few possessions and carrying what was most valuable to them. Also the memories and prayers of those from whom they were separated, and the homes and communities they had to leave behind. A prayer from Alternativity 2004. We must confess. We suspect angels and disbelieve good news. Eternal God, your Son was born to lighten our darkness. Yet we doubt what we cannot prove. We ignore what we cannot see, and finding little room for faith, we must confess we suspect angels and disbelieve good news. We admit ourselves to be both infected and affected by the spirit of our times. Behind talk of world peace, we hear the machinery of war. Behind talk of global equality, we detect the posturing of the powerful. Beside talk of your church being renewed, we recognise the bondage to failed patterns of the past. Rather than embrace the light, we become fascinated by darkness and must confess we suspect angels and disbelieve good news. Ah, God, who will save us? Our cynicism is the fruit of our experience, not the key to the future. Our perfect analysis may describe the mountain, but it is helpless to move it. It is with little pride we must confess we suspect angels and disbelieve good news. As Advent and Christmas approach, give us a share of that divine naivety enjoyed by Elizabeth and Zachariah, Mary and Joseph, and unnamed countryfolk who encountered angels and believed good news and recognised Christ coming among them. Amen. May we also, filled with Advent hope, expect angels and believe the good news. Amen.
I sought him dressed in finest clothes, where money talks and status grows, but poor and wealthy never chose. It seemed he lived in poverty. I sought him in the safest place, remote from crime or cheap disgrace, but